This is the new Mark 4.5 Octavia vRS, and is it worth the 50 lakh rupee price tag that it commands? So let's get the stuff that we already know out of the way. This over here is the E888 2-litre TSI engine, now in its 4th generation. It's completely E20 compliant. It makes 261 horsepower and 370 Newton meters of torque. It is still front wheel drive. It still has the super slick 7-speed DSG gearbox with a VAQ differential. So let's cut the chat and head to the track.
Turn, then gently on the power. And brake. Throttle, lift. Throttle. Now turn. Let's straighten out and throttle.
This is Adi. I am done with both the drivers here.
So that was a couple of laps in the new Octavia vRS, and it definitely feels much more better at handling than the older cars. Definitely less understeery, but of course at the end of the day it's still front wheel drive, so in some of the sharper corners you can definitely feel, the car going straight. But the brakes are pretty good, although the brake pedal has gone a little bit long now. Suspension is really nice, very comfortable, but still handles very nicely. You can't really understand much through the steering, and of course the power is there, 265 odd horsepower, so it does push out of the corners pretty nicely, and overall a really fun car to drive. And I'm a little bit overwhelmed because this is my first experience driving a car on a track, so yeah, definitely one to remember. This was my first time driving on India's only F1 grade circuit. I was a bit overwhelmed to say much about the car, but now that I have gathered my thoughts, this is what I think about the new Octavia vRS. One thing that you can immediately feel is that the car is much more flat through the corners than the previous generation cars. It feels more stable and less understeery. The 265 horsepower is sufficient, but at Budh International Circuit you can feel that the car is a little bit out of its element. The VRS has never been a track car. It has been the go-to performance daily driver, which can also perform great on twisty back roads, but nevertheless, it still held its own pretty nicely on the track. My track session was on day 2 of the media drives, so this car easily had done 20 to 30 laps before I got my hands on it, and according to the instructor, it was still on the original set of brake pads and tires, which is very impressive. Next up was the Moose Test, Slalom and Mini Autocross course. These tests show how competent and safe a car can be in extreme emergency situations. In the Moose Test, the car performed surprisingly well. Again, steering feedback was not the best, but the car is pretty much point and shoot. In the slalom, the car was again balanced and poised with minimal understeer in these relatively low speed zigzags and shows how agile this new Mark 4.5 chassis is. And finally, the autocross test. This is where I felt the car was getting heat soaked a little bit. It took some time for the car to get on boost, sometimes when you were pulling out of the sharp hairpins. That's probably down to the hot Delhi weather or the fact that we had been beating on this car for the last 30 minutes or so, but nonetheless, in the autocross, it was completely manageable and you could get the car turned into the direction you wanted it to pretty easily. The new VRS could do all of this magic handling because of the VAQ differential. Initially, it came to India when Skoda launched the VRS 245 a couple of years ago. But you can't really feel the VAQ's magic on the road. Once you really start pushing, you can feel the diff intruding and shifting the power from one wheel to the other in order for the car to rotate in the line that you want. One big limiting factor though were the tires. A stickier set of Michelin PS4s or PS5s would have eliminated the understeer even more, but overall, the handling of the VRS has definitely improved. But most people want to buy a VRS for one purpose, the tuning. So what about that? Just like the Golf GTI, the Mark 4.5 VRS can't be tuned just yet. But that doesn't mean you don't have aftermarket options. You'll of course have big brake kits, aftermarket suspension, so you can play with the adjustability and the stiffness of the dampers, and you'll also have other stuff like intake systems, cat bags and whatnot. But in terms of tuning the ECU, that is still locked, apart from a couple of piggyback ECU options, but again, it's not going to be as good as properly tuning the ECU. So in terms of your next tuner car project, well, the MK4.5 VRS will fall a little bit short over there. Skoda has launched the MK4.5 VRS in India. 0.5 means that this is the facelift version of the MK4. So you get different headlamps up in front, which are a little bit more aggressive than the previous generation. Looks pretty nice and aggressive if you ask me. And then of course you have the VRS part of things. You get more aggressive bumpers up in front with bigger vents and holes for cooling the 2-liter TSI engine. You get different wheels on the side, which I'm not a big fan of. They have kind of like this aero disc kind of style going on, which is not my favorite, but doesn't look too bad overall. And this being a sedan, you of course get a nice looking silhouette on the side, and one of the reasons why I would choose it over the Golf GTI is because it gets a gigantic 600-liter boot, which is amazing. I mean, that is one of the reasons why so many people choose the Octavia. Apart from that, you also get blacked out mirrors, a boot lip spoiler, a different interior, and 137mm ground clearance, which means that it's probably going to scrape everywhere, but that's the point of this car. It's supposed to be low, slung, sporty and nice to drive, and that's exactly what it is. And I completely forgot to mention, the VRS gets a different rear bumper as well with these really nice looking blacked out tips which sound pretty nice. In the interior, if you ever sat in the MK4 Octavia, the MK4.5 VRS will be very familiar to you. Everything is where you expect it to be. You get a big, gigantic infotainment in the middle, great graphics, really easy to use, and it has pretty big widgets also, so you can kind of use it when you're on the move as well. A nice and crispy digital instrument cluster with a couple of different themes and views and everything. Again, super nice to look at. You don't have any big gear selector in the middle. Now you get this kind of switch kind of thing, which is kind of weird to use sometimes. A nice flat bottom steering wheel with red stitching, perforated leather, paddle shifters which are nice and clicky, but they're made out of plastic, which is a little bit of a downside for my liking. You get a nice big Skoda logo in the middle, which is the new Skoda logo. The seats are also really nice, very comfortable, but they're not as sporty as you would expect. I think so previous generation VRSs had sportier seats than this. The bolsters are not that hugging, if you know what I mean. No sunroof in the new MK4 Octavias in general, so you're not going to get any of that. But overall, a really nice, really sporty interior. You get this carbon fiber, fake carbon fiber trim with the Alcantara and red stitching on top. And overall, it does feel pretty special and kind of feels like a 50 lakh rupee interior. So is the Octavia VRS worth the 50 lakh rupee price tag that it commands? Well, it's kind of a weird one because I would definitely choose the VRS over the Golf GTI. That's solely because, well, I like sedans more and the Octavia VRS is more practical as well. Apart from that, well, it's kind of a weird one because if you're looking for a one car solution, one car that can literally do everything, take your family, a weekend's full of luggage in the back, an amazing driving experience when you want it to, well, the Octavia VRS is a great all-rounder. It can literally do anything that you would ever want. So in that way, yes, I would definitely say that the 50 lakh rupee price point is justified for the VRS. But if you're looking for outright performance, well, the VRS will fall short because if you go into the used car market, you have endless options and the M340S price tag is not that far off of the Octavia VRS. So in terms of outright performance, well, the VRS will fall short here and there, but if you're looking for an amazing all-rounder car, it doesn't get much better than this. Let us know in the comments down below, what would you do? Would you buy the Octavia VRS or would you go for something in the used car market? Let us know in the comments down below and I'll catch you in the next one.